The Life of Julia the Younger, a historical presentation by myself, Avlene Siffort. Julia the Younger, 19 BC to 29 AD, was a Roman noblewoman of the Julio-Claudian dynasty. She was also raised and educated by her maternal grandfather, also known as Augustus Caesar, who is known to be the first Roman emperor. Some important information to consider about Julia the Younger is that she was not a member of the Julian generation at birth. However, because she was closely linked to Augustus Caesar in his household, she did go by the name Julia the Younger. And another important fact to consider is that her mother, Julia the Elder, did have a similar fall to her, so it is history repeating itself. Now, to emphasize Julia the Younger's lineage and to emphasize her nobility, I want to point out some important figures that she was closely linked with. Julia the Younger was the elder daughter of Augustus Caesar. She was also the stepdaughter of Emperor Tiberius. She was the maternal aunt of Emperor Caligula. She was the second cousin of Emperor Claudius, and she was the maternal great aunt of Emperor Nero. So it is safe to say that Julia the Younger was a very noble woman throughout the Roman Empire. Now here's a little bit about Julia the Younger's life. About 5 BC to 6 BC, Augustus arranged for her to marry Paulus, who was a very important figure throughout the Roman Empire, but more importantly, he was her first half-cousin. After they got married, they did have a daughter. However, it is speculated that they also had a son. According to Suetonius, who was a Roman historian, an important Roman historian, it is said to believe that Julia the Younger had a grand house for her and her family. However, due to Augustus's dislike for grand houses and overdone living spaces, he had it demolished. The fall of Julia the Younger. Julia the Younger was exiled from the Roman Empire for having an affair with a Roman senator. When she was exiled to an island, she did give birth to a child of the adultery that she had. And Augustus had that child killed. Specifically, he ordered for the child to be left on a mountainside because the child did not have a paternal figure in their life. In a Roman Empire, it is very important for children to have paternal figures in their life, so he had the child killed. And also, her adulterer, Silanus, voluntarily exiled himself. But he did return to the Roman Empire when Tiberius was in control and power. And other important facts about the fall of Julia the Younger is that sometime between 1 and 14 AD, her husband was executed for conspiring a revolution with a group of people that did not approve of Tiberius's reign. And modern historians speculate that Julia the Younger was exiled not because of her adultery, but because of her husband's participation in the revolution. Julia the Younger's adultery was intensely political. The fact that she was closely linked to the Roman Emperor Augustus made her punishment for the adultery more severe. It threw into question Augustan moral legislation and the reputation, hence her exile. Not to mention, Julia the Younger was a woman, so it was very brutal for her. It was a very brutal consequence for her to commit adultery because throughout that time in the Roman Empire, women weren't given many rights. Thus, when she committed adultery, not only was she judged for her act, but Augustus was also judged. Thus, the brutal punishment of being exiled, the murder of her child, and the fall and the sad life that she had. Thank you.